So, in the tavern, where Thane lays very still in the corner by the fireplace, trying to stay warm, Sam pacing back and forth, not knowing what to do while Buzz is looking for the books on the shelf. Sam is now helping Buzz look for the book with the gold writing on the front. There's answers in one of these books, and we need to really find the answer to help Thane. And they're looking. They find one book, and it looks like the book Buzz is thinking about. And Buzz turns around and sets it on the table and opens it up and starts reading through it, turning one page after the next, trying to find the remedy for Thane and that dagger that went into Thane. And so Buzz just kept flipping the pages, looking for it. Sam looking over her shoulder, seeing if maybe there's something Sam could see too. None of their eyes were on Thane, who was lifeless, laying next to the fire. They've got to hurry. They're not really sure what that dagger's going to do. Sam went over, checked on Thane, covered Thane, and was doting a little bit, making sure Thane was doing all right. Sam put her head down where Thane's face was. All she wanted to do was feel the breath that Thane, very shallow, slowly kind of moving the hairs on Sam's face, on her cheek. She knew that Thane was still alive. She could feel the breathing. And that made her have a sigh of relief as she walked back over to help Buzz look through this book. Buzz thinks she found it in the book. You could see the dagger. You could see some information that was written. Buzz, looking at the writing, didn't recognize it. It's writing she's never seen before. She's very smart, knows a lot of different languages. She's been alive for a really long time, but this was a little bit unusual. She thought, I wonder what language this is. She grabbed the book. She told Sam, watch Thane, I'll be back. She walked outside, and as she was walking outside, she changed into her dragon form and flapped her wings once, twice, and up she went. Sam didn't know where she was going. She just left. Sam, now watching Thane, very concerned, decided to start looking through some of these books that were laying out here on the table. Oh, Pookie. So what happened was, Sam reading this book, this one book, she had never seen this book before. It had a lot of things in it, mostly pictures of all of the realms. And it was very interesting. And she would turn the page and look at the picture and read a little bit about what the picture was showing. She turned to the next page. She looked down and discovered something. Meanwhile, me and Kaboji out on the beach with the large goat with an ox body, whose name we don't know. We've got to get that goat with the ox body down to the underwater realm. And so Kamoji says, let's get on the ship and take one of those other boats and head over so that we can take him closer to the underwater realm. And I said, no, I don't think that that's a good idea. Let's get on the boat. Let's get Miss Z here, so that Miss Z can help us figure out a way to get that ox goat onto the boat. And so we got into the little boat, got over to the big ship, got on the ship. And as we're looking around, we have this creature on the ship. He just kind of rolls over here and just kind of curls up and takes a nap. And so now we're just kind of walking around, and we're looking, and we're noticing that the captain's missing. The last time we'd seen the captain was in the cave when we were battling Miss V. And all of that stuff happened, and now there's no Maritza. Me and Kamoji are talking, and Kamoji says, well, I could sell this ship if I have to by magic. All I need to do is, tap in. We've got the crew here. We can really sell this ship if we need to. Jared's over on his ship. Jared doesn't know that we can't find Sunshine, Captain Sunshine. So we walk over, we holler across, they put the plank up so that we can walk across. And now me and Kamoji are over there with Jared and Brooke and Aline. And we're letting them know that Captain Sunshine is missing. We don't know where she could be. Well, Jared thinks he might have seen something standing on the ship when Miss V and Miss Z were fighting in the sky. He noticed that right below Miss V, there was something hanging there, very small. You couldn't really see what it was. It almost looked like a balloon. And he was telling us about that. Jared was like, I don't know what that was. It was just dangling underneath Miss V's feet. I just thought it was something that was attached to her cloak. So we were talking about that. We don't know, because Miss V is very powerful. I think that when she threw that glass down so that the creature could come out, she zapped Maritza and got her. And now has her as one of her prisoners, along with all of those other creatures. Fight in the air with planes, but it was with two wizards. And they were zapping each other, and one would hit and roll, and the other one would hit and roll. And I said to Kamoji, as we're watching the spectacle from where we're standing on the boat, and yes, indeed, I can see something underneath Miss V. Miss V, she's not going to win. She's not going to win. We need her to come down here. We've got to find Sunshine. Captain Sunshine is missing. We've got to get this the ox goat down to the underwater realm. I know we've got things to do. Kamoji opens up my satchel, looks inside, rummages around, notices. She says, I have it. She reaches in and she grabs at a flashlight. Looks just like any ordinary flashlight that you would see in your drawer. She clicked it on, and it was almost like a laser, but that big around. It was the biggest light I'd ever seen. So what she did was she lifted it up. And as she lifted it up, I thought she was going to catch Miss Z's attention. But what she did Well, she shined it right in Miss V's eyes. And when she did, you could hear Miss V screaming because it was so bright and so burning her eyes. Miss Z followed the light down to the ship, snapped out of this anger that she was having, let Miss V go, and came down to the ship where we were at. When she got to the bottom of the ship, we were telling her, we were like, Miss Z, we don't know where Captain Sunshine is. Things have happened. We got this creature from Miss V when she threw the vial onto the ground. The creature just grew, and it's one of the creatures from the underwater realm. She has at least 100 different creatures that she has put in bottles. She has them all right inside of her cloak, all just waiting to be used. Miss V, who knows exactly what to do almost all the time, made a bubble. She put me, Kamoji, and the ox goat into the bubble. She said this won't take very long. Off overboard we went, down into the water. We're over here. The underwater realm is here. Miss Z floats us all the way around, and into the underwater realm. Meanwhile, up here where Mello is collecting clams, she only needs one more. She has 19. She is so excited. She is talking to Froggy on her shoulder. She is so excited that she is almost done with all of these pearls. They're the most pinkest pearls she's ever seen. She now has her fin and her fin is tired. She is now doing again to the next clam, making the water move so that the pearl will just roll off and onto the sand next to the clam. The last one, she says, the last one. And so she does it. And there goes the pearl off and rolls onto the ground. She feels victory. She swims around to the other side and picks up that pearl, puts it in her little satchel, closes it up, and now decides to head back to the underwater realm. So how she has to get to the underwater realm is she swims from here underneath the water bridge, down and around, all the way to the entrance of the underwater realm. And as she's swimming, it's really beautiful. She feels very accomplished. She did all of that on her own. She just has her and Froggy, her best friend. All she wants whenever she looks at Froggy, she feels so much love. She loves her friend Frog. And she doesn't care that Frog is changing. So Frog now on her shoulder is even bigger. Frog is about this big now. Still not able to talk, just to make noise. But what we've noticed now is that 2 of the legs are now 1. And it looks like it's growing scales. Mello picks up her friend Frog and is now looking at Frog. And Frog goes, hello. Mello says, you just said hello. Frog goes, hello. What is this? Mello can't even believe it. Heck yeah. Oh my goodness. Her friend, Frog, She puts Frog back on her shoulder. She is so excited and happy that her friend is now learning to talk. Maybe she needs to talk a little bit more to Frog so Frog can pick up some more words. I know, Frog. Now, Frog is just happy. Frog is ecstatic. Frog is like, hello, hello, hello. I know. So now they're headed back to the underwater realm, right? So they're headed back to, now it looks like Miss Zena, me, Kamoji, Miss Zena are all in the underwater realm. And as Mello swims around with Frog and up into the underwater realm, she pops her head up and looks around and she can see me. Mello's like, what's everybody doing here? Why is everybody in the underwater realm? And Miss Z says, well, we've brought back a magical creature that was loose on the upper world. Did you finish your chore of getting those pearls? Oh, Mello, yeah, I did. Mello's so excited and was just like, Miss Z, that was the hardest thing. It took me a long time, but I got all 20 pearls. And Mello reaches her satchel and brings it up and holds it. And Miss Z reaches down and takes the pouch out of her hand, opens it up, pours it into her hand, looking at these most beautiful pink pearls. She puts her hand over them and just kind of goes like that. And as she's doing that, you could see the pearls almost like magnets coming together in a circle. It's really amazing when you see wizardry of this magnitude. There's so many things that I can't even tell you that are amazing that I have seen in these realms. And it's ready. Miss Z hands the pearls back to Mello. Miss Z says, put them on. Mello puts on her bracelet of these pink pearls. In the water, she could feel her fin separating. And now her fin is 2 legs and they're kicking. This was amazing. She jumps up out of the water and she's standing next to Miss Z with all of her legs intact, Frog on her shoulder, very grateful. You can't give them away. You can't sell them. They'll always be your pearls. Mello thought, that's weird. I would never sell these pearls. They're pretty on me too, these pink pearls. And she didn't really think so much about what Miss Z said, because a lot of times Miss B is very vague with what she has to say. Well, Miss B says, since we brought the ox goat down to the underwater realm, it's time to get back to the ship. Sunshine, Captain Sunshine, is missing. Mello, hearing this for the first time, was very upset. She said, I need to go with. I need to help you find this. I need to help you find my friend Sunshine. So, Mello gets into the globe that Miss Zena is now creating. We all step in. We float out of the underwater realm. We come out and around, and now we're headed back to the ships. I know Jared seen us leave. He knows we're gone, but I wonder what he's thinking. I wonder if he knows. We get back to the ship, All of us, Mello standing there, hollers at Jared, "Hi, Jared!" Jared says, "Mello, you have legs! Hi, Mello!" It's almost like a beautiful family reunion. I know everybody's excited to see Mello walking. Everybody's excited to see everybody on deck. But we're always concerned about where's Sunshine? Where is Sunshine? Open up the satchel. We look inside. Mello goes, "I have something that Sunshine gave me a long time ago. I've always kept it. It's around my neck." Oh, Captain Maritza. Captain Maritza gave this to me. It's a necklace. I don't know where she got it from, but on the end of it, you can see this little brown, it almost looks like a box. It's just a little brown box. I've never opened it. It's just a little brown box she gave me. Mello takes off the necklace, hands it to Miss Z, and says, "You can find Captain Maritza." Miss Z says, "I think I can." She holds the necklace in her hand. There's something odd about it. Why it's in her hand. She says, "The box isn't empty. The box isn't empty. They're going to have to open this box." She opens her hand and sets the box on a barrel next to her. She leaves it there and she looks at it. And she says, "Maritza, close this. Captain Maritza, close this and only wanted you to have it. So whatever's in there, only you know how to get it out, Mello." Mello looks at the box and studies it, and she says, I've always looked at this box, and I've never seen anything on it that would say. I just thought it was a box." Miss Z says, "It's more than a box. There's something inside." Mello says, "How are we to open it?" Miss Z holds it up and says, "If you see right here, there's a little keyhole. Right there. Right there. There's a little keyhole in this box. Did Captain Maritza give you a key?" And Mello thought and thought. "No, she didn't give me a key. I don't know how to open that with the keyhole right there." Mello studies it and is studying it. Meanwhile, underneath the foot of Miss V, as she's flying through the air, they were battling about right here. And we all know that Miss V has a spot somewhere in the mountainous realm right here. Miss V is now going towards the mountainous area. Maritza, Captain Maritza, notices, feels, this is not right. She's in almost like a balloon flying through the air just like this. It's see-through. She can't get out. It's It's just holding her in midair. She's flying through the air. She can look up and she can see the feet of Miss V. How did she get here? How is she going to get out? Where is Miss V taking her? We all know Miss V is taking her to her area, her lair, taking her to her lair. Right here. Maritza says, I will wait for her to land. I have something in my jacket that I can use against her. Maybe I'll be able to get away. But what Maritza didn't realize, Captain Maritza is only this tall. She doesn't know that she was shrunk and put in that ball. All she knows is that she's in a ball and she's being carried away by Miss V. Down here. Let's see. Meanwhile, Buzz, who has now flown away with that book, remembered that on the volcano island, the Volcano King, the Rock King, has an extensive library. Some of these books are in languages she's never seen before. Maybe the Rock King will be able to help. So as Buzz starts to land, bringing in the wings, she takes 2 steps as she lands and turns into Buzz, the human form. She has the book in her hand with the information about the sword that Thane was stabbed with in the neck. She gets to the Rock Kingdom and she sees everybody out and about. She walks over to where the king's hut is and waits. She knows she's not allowed to go into there without being invited, because that's the polite thing to do. So as she's waiting, she's taking notice of things that are around her. She noticed that means the Rock Kingdom had 2. I wonder if there's any more, Buzz thinks to herself. I know. Meanwhile, Sam at the tavern is reading a book. Reading this book, it's telling her all about things that she is interested in. She can't believe it. Every time she turns a page, more and more information about what she wants to know about is there. It's almost as though that book is reading her mind and knowing what she wants to know, page after page. So while she's turning the page, she thinks, I wonder if I think about the dragon's lair, if I turn the page, would the dragon's lair be there? She turned the page. The dragon's lair was on that page. This book is reading her mind, but giving her information at the same time. Bam! Something happened! The door slammed open of the tavern! Heck yeah! What? That was so rude. That was so rude.